Next, let's talk about the AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda is a fully managed serverless compute service that allow you to run your code without provisioning or managing the servers. It automatically scale your code in response to incoming events and supports the multiple programming languages, and you will be charged only for the compute time. Lambda allow you to run your code without provisioning or managing the servers, and you only pay for the compute time that you consume. You can run code for any type of applications or backend service, all with zero administration. So at a high level, AWS Lambda enable you to run code without provisioning the infrastructure, and it is charged only for the execution time. Now, the core component when it comes to pricing with Lambda is the amount of memory that you make available to it. And you can choose to have anywhere from 128 to 3008 MB allocated for your functions that are running on the AWS Lambda. Lambda allow you to configure the event-driven workflows. For example, you could say something like, when I upload a file, I want to execute this function, and Lambda execute the function based on the event triggered. Now let's look at some advantages for Lambda. First of all, there are reduced maintenance requirement. So you don't have to worry about those underlying servers and keeping them up to date. Lambda enables the fault tolerance. So the concept of running the services across the multiple availability zones and make sure that no single point of failures can take down your application, well, that's just built into the Lambda by default. Lambda scale based on demand. So irrespective of the number of users you have that are using your Lambda function, you know that it will scale and your pricing is based on the direct usage. Lambda is cost effective compared to EC2. With EC2, if you have a server up and running that support thousands people and only 10 people are using it, you have to pay the cost for the whole server. But with Lambda, it truly maps to the usage because it's only going to charge you based on the usage that you have. Lambda is a serverless architecture and brings lots of benefit for users such as automatic scaling. Lambda automatically scale your applications based on the incoming request. So you don't have to worry about provisioning or managing the new servers. Pay per use. With Lambda, you only pay for the compute time that you consume. You don't have to pay for the idle capacity or provisioning and managing the servers. Event driven. You can run your code in response to events, such as changes to data in S3 bucket or a new line of a stream in Kinesis. This allow for more efficient and cost-effective way of processing the data. High availability. Lambda automatically provision and scale the infrastructure required to run your code, ensuring the high availability and fault tolerance. Cost optimization. You just need to pay for the compute time that you consume. You can optimize your cost and reduce your overall spend on the infrastructure. Serverless, no need to provision and manage the servers, as AWS take care of the infrastructure and the scaling. Microservices. Lambda is well suited for implementing the microservices, where you can break down a monolithic application into smaller independent services that can run separately.